Hey everybody, Belinda Wasser here. It is a beautiful day in Connecticut and a wonderful time to talk about email newsletters and why they are my secret weapon. So a lot of you have signed up for this. I'm really excited to share it with you, and so welcome. If any of you have been hanging out with me at all, you know that I practically can't stop talking about email newsletters. When I started my business 9 years ago, I started writing an email newsletter right away, and I wrote one every two weeks for years and years and years. And the result of that was, I'm going to go way into the details, but the result of that was I was able to really secure a steady stream of clients to this day. And it's a nice way to keep in touch. It's a nice way to showcase your skills, because what I found is that my clients get my newsletter. They love it. I do the best job that I can with it. And they say, can you help me do that? And I say, sure. And and that's really a lot of what we do, and what we can do is to show our clients what we're capable of by doing it in our own business. So what I want to do today is, first, there is a lot going on in the VA Connection Facebook groups. And so I want to just tell you a little bit about what's happening, bring you up to speed. This will take probably 2 or 3 minutes at the most, and then we're going to go right into the meat of the webinar. So like I said, I've always felt like email newsletters are my secret weapon. So what I decided to do was develop a product that will actually give VAs their own email newsletter. And the reason I wanted to do this is that since it's been such an important thing in my business, I think that a lot of times, VAs understand the mechanics of it, but the writing stumps them. And I know the writing completely stumped me. It was so hard. And then I was so afraid that when I sent the newsletter out, that people were going to think it wasn't any good, and I was going to be embarrassed. And so there was a whole, like a whole thing. And what if there was a typo? And so anyway, so what I decided to do when I was noticing that other people felt like this too, the VAs and the VA Connection and the people that have taken my courses, I thought, all right, I'm just going to solve this, because I've written over 200 newsletters now between the VA Connection and RocketGirl. So for those of you who are new and don't know me very well, my name's Belinda Wasser. I think you know that. But I've been a VA for 9 years, and I started, well, and let me tell you a little bit more background. So I work with solo professionals, and I help them with all of their back end stuff. And what happened was I figured out how to turn this into a 6-figure business, just my VA work. And a lot of that had to do with my newsletter. So noticing that people have the same fear that I do, and knowing that I figured out how to write content that generates clients, it's not a secret. It's not like shooting a bullet. Like, it takes time. It's not a sprint. It's definitely a marathon. You have to do it over time. But I thought, why don't I just give them, the tools they need? So this is called the Done For You email newsletter system. So here's what's included. So I give you a list of topics to write about, which that seems to be the thing people want the most. I also give you a template, and we're going to go through that template today, really one step at a time, and you're going to understand each piece of it. But there is a video in this course, a deep video about each section, and you get all your questions answered. Today we're going to have to skim over it, because there's only, there's a limited amount of time today. In-depth training, like I said. And then instructions on how to import your list. I talk about guidelines for who you should add to your list. Also, how and where to reuse your content. We're going to, bop through that today a little bit. And then this is the key. There will be 12 articles written ready for you that will be included, so you can start to send your newsletter out. You can use them all in 6 months and write additional ones, or you can space them out, over 12 months, whatever you want to do. But they are articles that that you can all use, and I think that's going to really take a lot of the trouble away, right? So the course is $497. and it's going to be available on June 30th. But let me tell you why I'm telling you about this now. This is the part I want to clear up, because you'll be hearing about this course a lot more soon. But right now, if you decide to join the VA Launchpad, which is the course that I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, it's included as a special bonus. However, that bonus, I announced that a couple of days ago, goes away today at noon Eastern time, which is in 51 minutes. So that's why I decided to come on today right now to tell you about email newsletters, to tell you why they're important, to show you how powerful they are, and to give you an opportunity to have that, that for free. All right, so here's how you do that. So here is the bit.ly link, bit.ly /VA Launchpad. You can also go to the VA Connection Programs.com, and you'll see a list of courses there. Also in the Facebook group here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to, I don't think I can drop things in the chat here. I actually can't. So so those are the places you can find it. I wish I could do that. That would actually be fabulous. Let me just check for the comments real quick. Okay. Robin. Hello, Robin. Robin, I love Robin. She cannot wait for this course. That's really great to hear. I'm so excited about it. And hi, Isabel. Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be great. So Isabel has already signed up for the Launchpad, and so she'll be getting that right away. Well, June 30th. Okay. So all right, what else do I want to tell you? Hold on. Oops, wrong way. Okay, so now let's dive right into it. So the key that I wanted to tell you is that if you want this course for free, sign, and you're thinking about, you know, signing up for the Launchpad, which is a 12-week course. It's limited. It's a small group. Everyone will be in a Zoom room with me 12 weeks in a row. And the way I like to describe it is, it's a course where I really take your hand and the hands of all the people that are in it, and I wind your way through the business of being a virtual assistant. So there are definitely tools, and we'll talk about, you know, email newsletter, you know, like MailChimp and Constant Contact. We'll talk about WordPress. We'll talk about Acuity. We'll talk about a lot of the tools, but we're also going to talk about specifically how to get clients. And the newsletter is a big part of that. How to price, how to talk about what you do. It's really a step-by-step approach for 12 weeks in a row. And the people who have applied themselves and taken this course have had a business after 12 weeks. They're ready to go. So if you want to spend the summer getting ready to launch your business in the fall or even late August, this is definitely for you. So take a look at that. Okay. All right. So here we go. Email newsletters. Like I said, they're one of my favorite topics, and let me tell you why. You can reach a lot of people at once. So when my email newsletter list started out, it was probably 300 or 400. This was 9 years ago. It's now grown to over 1,500 people, a little at a time. And that's happened by meeting new people and asking them, can I add you to my email newsletter list? Or speaking. I'll speak somewhere on a topic, and I have a form that I hand out, and it says, can I add you to my email newsletter list? So they're all opt-in. And that's really important. The readers hit reply and they connect with me. So I'm in their inbox, I'm top of mind, whether they read it or not, they see it. And so they hit reply and they say, hey, great article. You know, so now I'm having, you know, a relationship with them, a back and forth. The writing can be used again and again. And I'm going to go into great detail in the newsletter course, and I'm going to talk about it today as well. The writing is so valuable. And when I first started my newsletter, social media wasn't as it is today. There weren't so many outlets, and I had no idea how valuable and powerful that content was going to be until years later. So I was very grateful that I started that. But it's never too late. You can start right now. It's a great way to tell people about my work. So in my newsletter, I talk about my work. So I'll talk about, you know, 5 things to do when onboarding a new client, or how to clean out your email inbox, or I write about newsletters a lot since I do newsletters for a lot of clients and I love the newsletter. I'll write about why taking credit cards can really help your business. So I talk about things that I do and show my expertise in that area. And you might think that the clients would say, oh, well, she just told me the 5 ways to do this, and go off and do it. And some of them will do that, absolutely. But the thing is they could do that anyway. The other ones won't. They'll say, oh gosh, my email inbox is really a mess. I wonder if Belinda could help me fix that. Or, it is time for me to take credit cards. I'm gonna call Belinda and see what's up with that. So that's what it does. My clients are better suited for me because they know my style. There's a section called Things I Can't Live Without I'm going to talk about, and also a welcome at the beginning. And so they know who I am, and they are way better suited than people who I just meet or who are referred by someone that I'm not working with already. And then the last thing, which was surprising, and this took a while for me to feel smarter because it was a struggle to write the newsletters for me, but I feel smarter because, with anything, the more you do it, the better you become. But because I had to sit down and think about what are the 5 steps for onboarding a new client, how do I keep my email inbox clean, and looking around my business as an actual business and being able to articulate that, it made a huge difference in my voice when I was talking to my clients. It made me more confident, more centered, and I think it was it made a really big impact in a lot of ways. All right, so now I'm going to break it down. All right, and I'm watching the comments. So if anyone has a question, please just let me know, and I will answer it. Okay, so this is a little itty bitty tiny version of my newsletter, and the reason I do this is because I'm going to break down each section. But here you can see, so this is my welcome section, this is the article, this is the things I can't live without, this is the the stuff at the bottom, my header. So now I'm going to start at the very top, and I'm going to show you each piece of the newsletter. All right, and I'm going to make me smaller so you can actually see this. Okay, so, and let's take this off. Wait a minute. Okay, so this is the welcome. The welcome is at the very top of the newsletter, and I want you to notice a few things. All right, so my business is called RocketGirl Solutions. Okay, you'll notice this is not the RocketGirl newsletter. This is Rocket Fuel. I also have a tagline: practical things small business owners need to know to run their businesses better. I love having a tagline for 2 reasons. 1, it tells the reader what it's about, and 2, it reminds me what I'm writing about, because it's very easy to get off track when you're doing a newsletter. It's so easy. So that just sort of grounds me. Now, if you look at my website, rocketgirlsolutions.com, it's a similar font. Well, it's not similar. It's the same font. It's the same colors. It's the same rocket, but it looks different. So it's kind of like, one of my friends likes to say, the cousin, right? The cousin. So let me point out a couple of things here. This is a personal message from me. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be like very revealing, but it should be in your voice and like, welcome. Today we're going to talk about XYZ. A headshot is huge. I love a headshot because people connect to the picture. They know what I look like. I become a person. It's not just an email. I become more of a person. Then here I have my my name written out, and the way you do that is you write it on a piece of paper, you scan it, remove the background, and drop it right in there. Again, now one thing to notice, because people have said to me, oh my gosh, it's your signature, they can take your signature. That isn't my actual signature. My signature looks very different. That's how I write my name, so it's different. So if you have a concern about that, never fear. What else? So it has the issue number in the beginning. It's exciting because you're just starting, and then once you hit 100, it's like, oh my gosh, it just feels great to change that number every time. All right, now this is the article. So the article always has a title. It always has an image. The reason it always has an image is because I'm going to use it in social media. And the important thing here is to write in a style that people get to know you. I was raised in, I entered the workforce in the 80s, and it was a very formal time. You know, people would write enclosed herewith, please find the document we discussed regarding whatever. You know, now it's an email or a text, like here it is. So there's someplace in the middle, and so I try to write it as if I'm telling a story, so people can relate to it. And this is not about me being the smartest person in the world. I never do research for this. It's stuff that I already know, and it's like I said, it's a story. It's a way for people to get to know you and to understand your work, but it's never about statistics. I mean, you could throw one in if that was important, but it's just really about running a business. Now, right underneath the article, there are these icons right here, and you guys probably know about this. It's social media sharing. So there's social media sharing and social media following. Social media sharing is so that people can share what you've written in your newsletter or wherever to their network. So here you see I've clicked on Facebook, and this is what's popped up, and it's me because I'm doing it. But if someone else were to do it, excuse me, it would be their picture and their name, and you'll see. Sorry, guys. You'll see why the picture is so important, because here it is right here, and it's such a cute little picture. This gets pulled in, and then they can write something here themselves. All right, so that is social media sharing. That's right under the article. And the difference is not following. So social media following is if they want to follow me on Facebook or connect with me on LinkedIn. That's different. And you can do that as well. I usually have that at the bottom, but right under the article, I want them to be able to say, oh, wow, I love this, I'm going to share. Okay, and we talked about that. All right, now, the next section I call personal insights. And what you want to do is I encourage people to have a section where people can get to know you a little bit. Mine's called Things I Can't Live Without, and I write about, here I'm writing about Shift, which is a tool that allows you to open multiple email accounts at once and be able to maneuver through them without, you know, opening a million tabs and stuff like that. You'll stay logged in to multiple ones. I also write about my chickens. I write about a friend with a new service. I write about anything. When I got my new car, I wrote about that. When I got my RocketGirl license plate, I wrote about that. So it's just a little insight into me, so people get to know me a little bit. And I have to say, this is the thing that people comment about much more than the actual article, because I think it feels safer, and they just want to connect. So other things you can write about are what I'm reading. Favorite things is another topic. You know, whatever is interesting to you. You could put a recipe, you know, just really, I've done that before too. Anything that you want, but just a little, and not longer than this. This is just the right length, I think. And then after that, I have what I call my commercial. So there's a section about me, and if you'll notice, it's very short. I don't go into everything I do. The point is for, you know, quick in, quick out. So RocketGirl is me. I solve one big problem for my solo and small business clients. I keep their businesses running smoothly. When you work on your own, it's up to you. My role is to handle all the details. So very simple. And then the next thing here is this free 30-minute consult. Critical. I have a lot of these, and this is how I get my clients. Really, no one has ever hired me without having one of these, now that I think about it. So we get on the phone, we talk about what they want. I listen for, can I do it? Am I interested? Do I like them? Do I want to work with them? And then we go from there. But this is that's a really important piece of my newsletter, and it gets used. It gets used a lot, and it's rarely been abused. And I use Acuity to set that up. Now, right under that are the details. So here it's, you know, this the statement about you're receiving this because you've signed up. My logo appears here. This is the only place my logo appears, at the bottom and not huge. You'll see there's a copyright. And then I also let people know that they can share this article if they include the copyright and a link to my website. And we're going to talk more about that in a bit. But I want to encourage people to share my newsletter as much as possible, because I've gone to this huge effort to write it. Now I want them to to share it, you know, to use it as much as possible. So here I talked about the logo. Now, there are many, many, many delivery mechanisms for your newsletter. You're going to want to pick one for a couple of reasons. One is, I'm going to talk about the email universe in a couple of minutes, but one of the reasons is that the companies who do email newsletter marketing and management have relationships with ISPs. They have relationships with internet service providers, and what happens is they're able to get through the firewall, and you can send a bunch of emails at once, and they can unsubscribe all by themselves. So this is important too. So I've actually used all of these. I haven't used ConvertKit, but a lot of people do, and they really like it. Okay, so pro tip. After you send your newsletter, what you can do is you can send it 2 to 3 days later to the people who did not open it. And I find that the open rate goes up anywhere between 10 and 20%. So there's a very simple way to do that. I go over it in detail in the course, but I know you can do it with MailChimp. I know you can do it with Constant Contact. I don't know about the others, but it's a really important thing to do if you want to extend your readers. Okay, let's talk about newsletter and blog. People will say, "Oh, I have a blog," and other people say, "I have a newsletter," and they're not really clear what the difference is. So here I'm going to just really go through it. A newsletter arrives in my inbox. It's easy to forward. It's easy to click for reply. Okay. A blog lives permanently on my website. People can check you out, right? Because they're on your website. Google rewards fresh content on your website by giving you higher search engine ranking, and it's a place to link to. So if you're going to use social media and you're going to link to, link it back to your website, it gives you that place. Now, I want you to do both, and the reason is that if you post something to your blog and you don't send it out as a newsletter, think about the path. Okay, the path is going to have to be, they think of you in front of their computer. They're not distracted for the 10 seconds it's going to take. They know your URL. They're going to go there. Then they're going to click on your blog, and then they're going to read it. That is a lot of steps versus it's on their phone. They're standing in line at the grocery store and they're reading it. So I really recommend that you do both. It doesn't take long to put it on the blog. Once you're writing, it's the hard part. And once you do that and you get it, you send it. I put it on my website right away. So you want to do both. All right, so you want to make it easy for people to read it, and you want to make it easy for people to sign up. So this is the footer of my RocketGirl website. Down at the bottom, you can see the first thing on the left is subscribe to my newsletter, and it tells what it is: a twice monthly newsletter on practical things small business owners need to launch their projects faster. And then you'll see my recent newsletters right there in the middle. And then my other secret weapon is the free 30-minute consultations, and that's right at the bottom on the right as well. So you want to make it easy, easy, easy. All right, so let's talk about the email universe. People have asked me, can I use Constant Contact or MailChimp as a CRM? And so what I mean by a CRM is an address book, a place to keep your contacts. And I don't really recommend that. I recommend that you keep what I refer to as your email newsletter universe separate. So while my daughter's college professor might be in my CRM because I'm emailing them, on the other hand, they're probably not a newsletter subscriber. And if they are a newsletter subscriber and they want to unsubscribe, they can do that without me. And that's a really critical piece. You don't want to spam people because this is about building relationships, not spamming them, sending them valuable information, not an advertisement. And you'll notice, with the exception of the free 30-minute consultation, which is really an offer more than anything to give them time, I don't say anything about really about working with me, because it's clear, that you can get on my calendar, we can talk about it. They know what I do for work. I'm writing about it. And so I don't actually ask people, it's not a sales pitch ever. Okay. Oops, am I going the wrong way? Oh, I guess I already said that. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the different places that you can use your newsletter. Okay, so the first one we talked about, this is my website, RocketGirlSolutions.com. The second is I post it on Facebook. So this is different from the social share where someone's sharing it. This is me actually posting it on my Facebook page. So you'll see the image comes through. I wrote a little sentence, why I love fall, and the link is automatically there. That's a great thing to do. This looks almost identical, but this is a LinkedIn post. So the LinkedIn post, you'll see I wrote something a little different because it's kind of a different audience. But this is LinkedIn, and again, the image pulls in. It's a cute little image. It gets people's attention. The other thing is when you post to social media, make sure you pay attention to the comments because that's really the whole point, is for people to see you, but also to interact with you. So if someone comments on a Facebook or a LinkedIn post, make sure you circle back around in a couple hours or something, at least by the end of the day. And then another thing is a LinkedIn article. So a LinkedIn article is different from a post. In a post, you put the URL, and the image will pull in, and you write your little blurb. This is actually the newsletter itself as an article on LinkedIn. When you go to LinkedIn, the homepage, not your profile, but the actual homepage, you click on where you start a post, and I believe right there it says start an article, write an article, and you'll put the image in, put the header, and you put the article right there, and then you publish it. This is kind of a pro tip too. So what I do at the bottom, even though there's a link to my profile on LinkedIn, I just go ahead and put my bio at the bottom, so it's right there, and I invite them to subscribe to my newsletter. I do this for my clients as well, and I show them my example. The other thing, so I want to tell you guys this, you may or may not know this, but so I write the VA Buzz, and it goes out once a week. So that's a weekly newsletter for VAs on getting more clients, earning more money with less stress. And what happens is twice a week, I make a live video, and it's called the RocketGirl Show on Tuesdays and Fridays. What those actually are the newsletters adapted to this video format. So here I am using it again, right? So I'm using it on Facebook, LinkedIn in 2 different ways, and now it becomes a video. Okay. All right, so there's definitely tools to help with all of this sharing. Buffer, Hootsuite, MeetEdgar, and all of them have different benefits. So find the one that you like. I use Buffer for a lot of my clients. Personally, I use MeetEdgar. I didn't do that out of the gate. It's expensive, but for me, it really helps me. It helps me a lot because I'm managing a lot of different social media. Once you have that content, you can do a lot with it. So I have clients who read their newsletters, record them, and they've turned them into a podcast on iTunes. So that's definitely something you can do. Contributed content is when someone else uses your newsletter. So I had a client who said to me, I love your newsletter. It really, it rings true for my audience. Can I send it to my list? And I said, all day. So she sent it to her hundreds of people. She linked to my website. She introduced me. And so now, my subscriber number goes up, and it's really great. So that's a good thing to share. Some of my clients, I create reprints for them. So I take the banner of their newsletter, I put it in a Word document in the header, I put the article in, a bio at the bottom, and they use them as a sales tool. So what they do is they distribute it to their sales team and say, hey, you can use this to send to potential clients who may or may not be on the newsletter list to further distribute the article. I have a client who's turned his newsletters into more than 1 book. It's a great way to do that. They're organized by category, and it's self-published, but it's a smart thing to do. I've thought about doing that. I haven't gotten there yet, but I would love to do that. And then there's a bunch of other things that you can do that I haven't even thought about. So this is another reason why it's such a good investment. So here's the deal here. It's not easy. This is not. I do not sit down and write my newsletter and just send it out all right there. I write them, it goes to an editor, it's reviewed, I look at the picture, you know, I post it on, I use MailChimp, I put it on MailChimp, I send it to someone, they review it again to make sure there's no mistakes. So this is not, it's not easy, and it takes time, but it's so totally worth the effort. I can't even tell you. But the cool part about this course is that you're going to get 12 of them for free. You know what, or not for free. You're gonna, if you buy the course, it comes with the course. So you have a whole year right there for you to, you know, figure out how to write more articles. So it's really a really strong start. So it's called the Done For You Email Newsletter System. You can have it today for free. If you decide that you want to sign up for the Launchpad, let's see what slide is next. Yeah. Okay. So the Launchpad is a 12-week program for virtual assistants who want to either start or jumpstart their business. It starts Thursday, tomorrow at 3 o'clock. It's 12 Zoom calls, webinars, very interactive. People can ask questions. There's time with me, 2 30-minute sessions over the 12-week period. I'm available via email. There's a Trello board where we all share resources. The people who have applied themselves have, like I said, they've left with a business, confident about talking about their pricing and how to get clients. And the key that when I asked for feedback that they said they had more of than anything when they came in was confidence. And I think that goes a really, really long way when we're growing our business. So here's what you can do now. Sign up for the Launchpad. The URL is there. If you sign up in the next 25 minutes, you'll get this course free. If you are not interested in the Launchpad and you want to sign up to get the newsletter course, that announcement will be coming out shortly in the next couple of weeks. You can go to the Launchpad, the newsletter course link, which I'm going to put in the comments once I finish this live, and you can add yourself to the waitlist. So I'm just going to pause for a second, see if there's any questions. Someone's saying they're excited. I know I'm excited too. I can't tell you how excited I am. I think this is going to make such a huge difference in so many VA businesses, because it's been proven for me over and over that this is how to get the best clients, the absolute best clients. And the one story I didn't tell you that I want to make sure you know is that I have met many people over the years, and asked them if I could add them to my newsletter list. And more than once, people have come to me. They get on the free 30-minute call, and the first thing out of their mouth is, "I've been thinking about hiring you for a year. Are you taking clients right now?" Because for a year, they've been looking at things I can't live without. They've been seeing my picture. They've been listening to me talk about, you know, my business. They've had the welcome, you know, my signature. All of those little touches all come together right now. So this is going away for the Launchpad, like I said, at noon. We have one spot. I was just noticing someone signed up while we were talking. So there is one spot left in the Launchpad, and I would love it to be you if you're ready to take your business to the next place and launch in the fall or relaunch. Okay, everybody, it doesn't look like we have any more questions, so I'm going to sign off for now. Something comes up later, just put it in the chat and tag me, and I'll answer you as soon as I can. All right, thanks everybody. Bye.